updates, rumors, preseason coverage, roster, battle, injury, and everything that are happening around Dallas Cowboys team. The 2026 NFL season is getting closer, and the Dallas Cowboys have officially started their preseason campaign with impressive 17-7 victory over a Seattle Seahawks. It was the perfect opportunity for a young players and the roster hopeful to make a statement. And several Cowboys players took advantage of that opportunity. Dallas traveled to Seattle for the preseason opener, and although many of the team's established starters were not heavily involved, the Cowboys still showed plenty of the energy and the competitiveness Seattle and scored on the opening drive. But the Dallas responded well and eventually took control of the game. The Cowboys finished the night with 17-7 victory, giving fans an encouraging first look at some of the players who are competing for important roles of 2026 roster. One of the biggest story of the game was a low-key wide receiver Camden Brown. Brown delivered an outstanding performance and caught 2 touchdowns passes, including an impressive diving 100 touchdown reception that immediately caught the attention of the Cowboys fans. For a young receiver trying to earn his place on the roster, this was exactly the kind of performance. The Cowboys already have talented receivers, but Brown's performances could make the coaching staff take a much closer look at what he can bring to the offensive. The preseason is especially important for a young player because there are only a limited number of the roster spots available. A player can enter a training camp relatively unknown and completely change his situation with 1 or 2 great performances only. So that is what happened on Camden Brown. Has now given himself important momentum, but also he will need to continue performing in the remaining preseason games if he wants to make a final roster. Another important storyline surrounding Dallas is a quarterback situation behind a Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott remained on franchise quarterback and the leader of the offense, but the battle for the backup quarterback position is becoming increasingly interesting. Joe Milton and Sam Howell are competing for opportunity to become the team's primary backups, and the preseason will give the coaching staff more evidence to make that decision. For both Milton and Howell, every possession matters. So the Cowboys need the backup quarterbacks who can protect the football, make smart decisions, and also make an offense and give the team a chance to win. So if Dak Prescott is unavailable, the competition will continue throughout the preseason, and the Cowboys fans should pay close attention to how both quarterbacks perform against Arizona and New Orleans. Dallas will play 2 more preseason games after the victory over Seattle. So the next game will come on August 22, this 22 August against the Arizona Cardinals. It will be followed by a preseason final against New Orleans on August 28 at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Stadium. And this game will be extremely important because the coaching staff is getting closer to making final roster decision. So while a winning preseason game is not the most important objective, so the The 17-7 victory was still encouraging. It showed that the Dallas has players throughout the roster who are willing to compete for the opportunities. The Cowboys need more depth because the regular season is long and the injuries are almost impossible to avoid in the NFL. The defense is another major area to watch this year. The Dallas has new defensive coordinator. Coordinator is Christian Parker, and also the Cowboys fans are eager to see how his defensive system develops. The Citro game provided some eerie signs, although it is still too soon to make a major conclusion because many startups were not playing extensive minutes. Still, after a Citro scored on opening drive, the Cowboys' defensive settled down. They prevented Seahawks from creating much more offensive damage. So on this game, one of the biggest reasons for optimism on defense is the presence of Quinnen Williams. The Dallas made a major investment in Quinnen Williams by giving him a 3 years extension worth approximately uh, 105 millions with around 101 millions US dollar granted. So that type of financial commitment tell you exactly how important the Cowboys believe Williams will be to the future of the defense. Williams is expected to be a major force in the middle of defensive line, and his ability to create a pressure from the interior can make life easier for the edge rusher and linebacker around him. So if the Dallas Cowboys can consistently pressure opposing quarterback and while also they can improving against the run, the defense could become one of the most important reasons for optimism heading into the regular season. So at the same time, Cowboys fans should not forget that preseason football is a very different from a regular season football, and the majority of the established startups are being protected. Protected teams are using a basic formation, and coaches are primarily evaluating individual players rather than revealing everything they plan to use during the regular season. Therefore, the victory is encouraging, but it should not be treated as proof that the Dallas has already solved the evil problem. Another major subject around the Cowboys continues to be at trades. Even though the preseason football has started, but Agil Jones and the Dallas front office still have the time to make changes before the regular season it begins. The Cowboys have already made important moves this offseason, but there is always the possibility that another addition could happen if the right opportunity it become available. Cowboys fans have heard numerous names connected to potential moves, but it is important to separate confirmed information from speculations in the social media in different sources. There are also players on the current roster whose future could become part of the trade discussions. So Aluk Sconemaker is one of name that has attracted attention because Dallas has several players competing at right ends. So a Jack Faxon remain an important part of the offense, while Ablevine Spanford and the rookie Michael Trigg are also competing for opportunities. So if the Dallas believes it has enough depth at the position, The front office could potentially listen to offer for another player. However, trading Sconemaker would not be an easy decision. He has a second round pick and the Cowboys could need to believe that the return from a trade was available enough to justify moving on from him. His preseason performances could therefore be extremely important as the Dallas evaluates the entire tie end room. In the running back position is another area where competition is heating up. So the Dallas has players such as Javon Williams, Jaden Blue, Phil Maffa, and Hunter Lubke competing for opportunities. And the Cowboys need running back who can do more than simply carry the football. They must also be able to catch passes, block in protection, and contribute on special team. Preseason game give this player an opportunity to show the coaching staff exactly what they can do. A running back who perform well in the multiple areas can quickly become more valuable than someone who only produces big plays as the runner. That is why the next two games will be extremely important for the Cowboys running back competition. So, if the Browns continue to make big plays, the Cowboys could have a difficult decision when the final roster is selected. So, the Dallas needs reliable depth at receiver, especially because injuries can change the depth chart very quickly during the NFL season. The offensive line is another position that deserves serious attention. Protecting Dak Prescott has to be one of the Cowboys' biggest priorities. So a young players such as Tyler Guiston and Tyler Smith are important parts of the team's future. A strong offensive line